fight before us proves to us that God is with us. He has chosen me, and He has chosen you.
So if we are going to have one nation under God, which we must, we have to have one religion.
The country is being run by this class of people who are not Christian.
Let's go.
What surprised me most is, like you said, how much of it is on the candidate to figure everything out.
Jess ran for HD1 in Missouri, a race where the last Democrat lost by 80 points.
Let's go.
And then I learned some things that about my neighbors that were a little shocking to me. I learned that a lot of folks out here think they can't vote for Democrats because they are themselves Christians, and they feel like Democrats cannot be Christians. And so that was really surprising to me. Honestly, hearing over and over again that, I can't vote for you because I'm a Christian was just mind-boggling. I was born and raised a Southern Baptist. Women are supposed to be meek and mild and to listen to their husbands and be subservient and submissive. That wasn't working out for me. And the big thing, I left the church because they weren't, to me, doing the job of taking care of other people, which is what I thought the church was supposed to be about. Those people that I looked up to in the church turned into folks who would make excuses for Trump, would make excuses for his racist, sexist, nasty rhetoric. And,
Let's go.
I've read the Bible more than once. I went to church 3 days a week, so I still have that part of me. But I can't go back to the church the way it is.
Jesus is Lord over the midterm election.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a satanic portal above the White House. There is a demonic portal, a satanic portal above the White House that appeared shortly after the election of Biden.
What were the ramifications, or were there any ramifications for your family?
Well, we had ramifications before. My husband had lost his job because I protested. We didn't have COVID mitigations going back to school in 2020. I was a tenured teacher. He was not. So they fired my husband. So I already knew, what could happen. For me, in my position, I can't go back to teaching because I'm a Democrat. Because people will say, I don't want my child in her classroom because they hear crazy things and they associate that with teachers like me. My youngest son was in science class, and his teacher collected Kleenex boxes like you do as a teacher. You collect them at the beginning of the year and you give kids a couple points for doing it because you're going to need it later because schools don't fund classrooms. And my son brought in a Kleenex box, and his teacher turned those boxes into Trump's wall. She built the wall. And so that passed, and that was okay.
So that speaks to what it's like for Democrats, blue dots in these red states.
Yeah, it's difficult. And I would talk to people who were like, yes, I will vote for you. And I'd say, can I get you a sign? And they would absolutely no. I'm not putting a sign out. I don't, want people to know.
I'm going to run some names and terms by you for your hot take. You ready?
Yep.
Kristen Sinema.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sick of her to have the gall to change your party while you are in office. I think it's not honest.
Josh Hawley.
Oh gosh. He is one of the worst. He shouldn't be our senator. He incited a riot, and he knows this. And we have provisions to get rid of people who are in office who incite, coups or insurrections. And we know that in Missouri, he used his sister's address to vote. He didn't even have a home here. So,
not to mention he's a coward.
Oh my gosh, the worst.
Tell me what's next.
So I have a podcast coming out January 5th. It's called Dirt Road Democrat. And that's where I'm trying to break through that propaganda loop to give people, a progressive message from rural Missouri. There's some candidates that I heard from that raised, $3,000, $4,000. And I raised $250,000. This is where I live. This is my home. So I have to stay and fight on, my home turf. And I hope that other folks who run in difficult races and have, the opinion that I'm likely, not going to win, that you keep at it because it matters to people around you, right? It matters to folks to see she stood up and she never stopped. She's still here, right? And so I hope that others will do the same.